Everybody talks about Gig Harbor as being one big market, and it's totally not. In 2026, there are going to be certain pockets of Gig Harbor that certainly grow more than others, and the momentum is definitely going to stay in those areas. In this video, we're going to talk about why that is, and I'll give you a hint right now. Primarily, it's because they have the land available to do it. When we look at what is already funded, designed, or in the process of being built, a very clear story shows up. And that's what we're going to break down in this video. We're going to talk about why certain areas are developing, such as the infrastructure going in, access to the freeway, things like that. We're going to break down 5 neighborhoods that I would really look at that are going to really grow in 2026. And then we're going to go into what areas may fit your lifestyle and see which one of those is best for you. My name is Darren Rivers. I am the Northwest Realtor and managing broker of the Rivers Group. I help families from all over the country relocate here to Gig Harbor and the surrounding areas. Part of my job is to be very blunt and direct with you about which areas are going to be in high demand, why those areas are going to grow the way that they are, and help you identify which ones are best for you, your family, and your lifestyle. So let's jump right in and let's talk about the 5 pockets of Gig Harbor that I think have the most momentum heading into 2026. And we're going to start with the one that I think is on the fastest pace. Okay, so we're going to head up to the neighborhood of Rosedale right now, which I think is going to be the #1 spot where we're going to see growth in 2026. But a little history on how all this got started is Gig Harbor's been around a long time, and it's just kind of been a small mom and pop kind of town, but it's really started taking off because there's so much demand to live here just because it's frankly so nice. And the neighborhood that really kicked off the urban density is called Harbor Hill, which is in Gig Harbor North. It has got several thousand tract homes, and it brought in a lot of amenities that are really beneficial to us, such as Costco, Home Depot, Target, YMCA. Shoot, there's a brand new elementary school that was just built there called Swiftwater. So anyway, Harbor Hill is the one that really started that. And a lot of people didn't like it because it brought such rapid growth so quickly. And I don't think we're going to see anything like that in the recent future as far as like building all of a sudden a 3,000 home housing tract, but we are going to see lots of little pockets of 10 homes here, 5 homes here, 7 homes here, and we're heading to one of those right now. Okay, so here we are on the #1 spot that I think is going to really take off in 2026. And it's actually 2 areas that I always kind of combine because they border each other and they're both the west side of Gig Harbor, and that is Artondale and Rosedale. Right now we are in Rosedale, and this right here is a perfect example of the kind of growth that we're really going to have in 2026. We're going to have a lot of little neighborhoods that go up just like this one, and Garrett Homes is one of the big builders in this area, does some really nice work, and this is what he tends to do. He'll buy a plat and do 5, 6, 7, 8 homes, maybe up to 10 or 20. Again, like I said earlier, we're probably not going to see one of those big tract home communities with several thousands of homes. That's just not going to happen anytime soon anyway, but there's going to be lots of these. Okay, so here's the primary reason why I think Artondale or Rosedale are going to have the most growth and the most momentum with these kind of communities is because we simply have the space out here to do it. Downtown Gig Harbor is pretty much full. Gig Harbor North, for the most part, is pretty full. There's a few areas that we'll get into a little bit later up there, but it's pretty full with Canterwood being there, Harbor Hill. They build all the infrastructure with Costco, all those sort of things. So there's less space there. This Artondale, Rosedale area, I believe, have the most space and the most opportunity for things like this. And this is perfect. A lot of people don't want tract home communities. They don't want their neighbors 6 feet apart. Well, look at this. This lot, 1.5 acres. The lot right next door is going to be an acre. Nice big home, 3,000 square feet, brand new. These are beautiful. And just so you know, these are going to run $1.3 million or so, give or take, depending on what kind of fixtures you have in there. The also nice thing about these is if you get in there soon enough, see, this is already sold and it's not even built yet. So the owners of this, they're going to be able to pick out the finishing touches, such as paint, cabinet colors, hardware, things like that. Can't change the blueprint or the walls or anything like that, but you could definitely change some of the facade and the finish work. Okay, so this is the next lot right over. See, it's 1.1 acre, but it's a much bigger house. So there's options that you have here. But let's talk about what's so great about Rosedale and Artondale, especially where we're at right here in Rosedale. We're at the northern eastern tip of Rosedale Rosedale. So we are super close to Highway 16, super close to the schools, the high school, the YMCA. All those amenities are literally like 3 minutes away. So if you're a commuter, if you're somebody that wants all those amenities nice and close, schools nice and close, all those things, it's super, super easy. This area is just going to take off. And like I said, this one's right next door to the one we just were at, and it's already sold. And all it is dirt. They haven't even started building the foundation yet. So the demand for this is huge. When these areas pop up, people are going to jump all over it because they're getting spacious lots. They're getting a nice, brand new, big house, super close to everything. This is why Rosedale and Artendale are just going to take off in 2026. So this is what one of these plats look like. It's just forested land right now, but Garrett bought this plat and subdivided it into 4 lots, and he's going to build 4 spec homes here and sell them on the open market. So this right here is an example of one of the homes that are done. This is Garrett's model home for that neighborhood that we were just in. Total of 5 houses. 4 of them still have to be built. This is their model home, so you can see what all their finishes are like. Nice brand new house out here in Rosedale, super close to everything. I'm telling you, Rosedale, Artendale, they're just gonna take off 2026. Okay, so behind me, this is an example of one of those Garrett homes. This is the model home for that neighborhood that we were just in, where they're gonna build their 3 or 4 brand new homes. This is the model one. This is basically kind of what they look like. They all have different facades and things like that, different floor plans, but they're the similar vibe. It's very much that craftsman kind of modern craftsman home sort of style. This is what we're going to have in Rosedale and Artendale in 2026. That's why I think this area is going to grow so much. We are literally just a couple minutes from all those amenities that I talked about. We're right next to Highway 16 for super easy access for commuting, getting to the airport, all that sort of stuff. Get a super nice home on a nice big lot, and there's lots of space out here for that to happen. It's just going to take off. Okay, the next area that we're going to talk about as far as growth and momentum in 2026 is Fox Island. So there are some reasons why it's going to grow. There's some reasons why it may not be quite as fast as Rosedale and Artendale, and let's dive into those right here. So the number one reason why Fox Island can really take off is because, like Artendale and Rosedale, it has the space to do so. There's a lot of land out there. Again, are we going to have a huge tract home community go in? No. But are you going to have a bunch of one-offs as far as 3 or 4 homes here, maybe a single home here or there? Absolutely. And you're going to have space like this. Nice big yard standing right here on a pickleball court, fire pit back in the background, an acre, half acre, things like that. So you have plenty of privacy, plenty of space. You get the name of living on Fox Island, which is cool in and of itself. Here's the reason why it may not take off as fast, is it's just further away. So people don't want to drive 20 minutes to get to the grocery store. They don't want to drive 25 minutes to get to the freeway. So that might slow it down a little bit, but there's a lot of people that like the privacy. They like to be out away from other people, and Fox Island is definitely a place that could take off like that. Okay, so now we are heading to downtown Gig Harbor. And you may think, well, gosh, there's no room for growth in downtown Gig Harbor. It's already full. Well, for the most part, you're right. It is pretty full. There's a lot of remodels of the older homes going on, and there are a couple vacant lots here and there where you'll see a new build, but it's not pretty common. But there are areas where there is new growth and new little neighborhoods going, and there's some momentum happening there. Let's head there right now. Okay, so the next spot that we're in is downtown Gig Harbor. And again, like I mentioned earlier, are you going to get the massive buildings of 40, 50, 100 homes side by side by side? No, but you are going to get things just like this. So these are built by Zetterberg, another local builder here, really well known for doing his little developments here and there. This particular street's going to have 8 brand new homes. That one's nearly done being completed. This one, they're just starting to dig out for the foundation. There'll be 8 of them right here. We're literally 2 blocks from downtown Gig Harbor Waterfront. So the reason this is going to take off so much is because people want to be downtown. A lot of people want to be downtown. They want to walk to all the Gig Harbor Waterfront activities. They want to be in the hub of all the action. So this is a super sought after area. Anytime anything pops up like this, they're going to sell like hotcakes because there's so little inventory of it and such high demand. So another shift in the Gig Harbor market, especially downtown Gig Harbor, that's adding to that momentum is the remodels and rebuilds of some of the old areas. So right here, we have some old homes. Now this is up on the hill overlooking downtown Gig Harbor, great water views and things. Believe me, they're great. So you have those older homes, but guess what's happening? People start buying those up and they do a remodel or a total rebuild, and you get these two exquisite new builds, new homes, great water views, really close to downtown. I mean, literally just up the hill, you're walking distance to everything. So that's another way that the momentum in 2026 in downtown Gig Harbor is really taking off. So with those new builds that I just showed you, which are literally right across the street from where I'm standing, or tearing down the old or refurbishing the old into these brand new homes. So we are on Bay Ridge Drive, downtown Gig Harbor, and this is what I'm talking about as far as the older homes that are being redone, rebuilt, refurbished, toned down, remodeled, whatever it is. This is an old street with a lot of old homes that have either been completely redone, torn down, and started anew, and then here and there, there's still an old one that can definitely use some refurbishing. But this is where the momentum is really taking off in downtown Gig Harbor with all of these homes that are being redone to take advantage of all the great things that downtown Gig Harbor has to offer. And right here is going to be a brand new build with that kind of view. Okay, so here we are at our next location. This is the next area of Gig Harbor that I think has some real momentum going into 2026, and this is Gig Harbor East. So Gig Harbor East includes areas like Point Richmond. It's just right up above Crescent Valley. It's Sunrise Beach. It's this whole line of Gig Harbor that is adjacent Covell's Passage. We're looking right over at Covell's Passage right now and over to Vashon Island. So this is the east side of Gig Harbor. The reason why this has so much potential for growth in 2026 is because they have the space to do it. And look at these homes that they're building here. Now, they've been being built for a little while now because they're big and exquisite, and these are not something that they just build in 4 to 6 months. I mean, these take a couple years because they're multi-million-dollar homes. They're super nice. And Gig Harbor East has the areas to do this sort of thing in. They also have the areas to do the other ones that we talked about, like in Rosedale and Artendale, with those one-offs of, you know, the 9 homes here or the 10 homes here. They have the space to do so. So because of those reasons, there's some real momentum in 2026 for some of these things taking place in Gig Harbor East. The negative to it is we're a little bit further away, right? So it's going to take a little bit longer to get to the freeway and to some of the amenities and to the kids' schools and things like that. We're just further away, kind of like how Fox Island is. If you want to be away from people and have more space and the quiet and the wildlife and nature, well, then maybe this is right up your alley. But if you want to be really close in to all the shopping and things like that, this may not be the fastest momentum for you, but it definitely is for other people. Okay, so our last neighborhood that we're going to explore for massive potential growth in 2026 is Gig Harbor North. So if you remember in the beginning of this video, I talked about how Gig Harbor North really kicked off all of the real growth here in the harbor area with Harbor Hill, right? At those, you know, massive tract home communities, several thousands of homes. Well, we're still in Gig Harbor North, and there's still room for expansion. Just like right here, Main View is a builder in this area where we're standing as a cul-de-sac that's going to have 14 brand new homes. This is one of them, obviously, and the other ones are right around us that are in construction, or some of them are just plain dirt right now. But we're right getting into Gig Harbor North. Lots of pockets in here that can really expand with little one-offs, just like all the other areas I talked about. This is what we're going to see for growth in Gig Harbor, is these pockets of 10 homes here, 15 homes here. This one happens to be 14 homes in this cul-de-sac. What's great about it is we're a mile from downtown Gig Harbor, so just right down the hill, you're in the heart of all the action. We're also about a mile from Costco and Home Depot and all of the shopping up there. So we're right here in Gig Harbor North, easy access to all of those things and the freeway. All the momentum in the world can take place right here because of the location and the demand. Okay, so that was this video summing up all of the areas in Gig Harbor that have the most momentum going into 2026 for continued growth. My name is Darren Rivers. I am the Northwest Realtor and managing broker of the Rivers Group. Again, I help lots and lots and lots of families relocate to Gig Harbor, and it's super important that you work with a local expert that knows the market, knows all these different pockets that we talked about in this video, so we can get you pointed in the right direction for whatever is best for you and your family and your lifestyle. All my information is right here. Feel free to reach out at any time, and we'll see you on the next video.